Hey there and welcome. We hear it all the time. In business, profit is king, right? But is that the only thing that really matters? Today, we're going to dig into how you measure what a company is actually doing, what it's really achieving. We're going way beyond the balance sheet to get to the heart of real-world performance. So let's jump right in. So let's just start with that big question right off the bat. Is a profitable company always a good company? Now, the easy answer is, yeah, of course. But the real answer? It's way more complicated. That's because a company's performance isn't just one number, it's a story. And that story is told at three totally different levels. And you've got to measure each one differently. And here's our roadmap for how we're going to break this all down. Think of it like a funnel. We're starting way up high at the 30,000-foot view, a company's big picture role in society. Then we'll zoom in a bit to its strategic goals. And finally, we're going to get right down into the nitty-gritty, the day-to-day operational stuff that really makes the whole thing work. Okay, first up, the big picture. Before we can even start talking about efficiency or strategy, we have to ask a more fundamental question. What is this company's impact on the world around it? This is all about its responsibility to everyone it touches, not just shareholders, but also its employees, its customers, and the community it's a part of. Now, a great way to measure this broad impact is with a framework called the triple bottom line. It's a really simple but powerful idea. Basically, for a business to be truly successful and sustainable, it has to measure its performance against three key pillars. And what are they? People, planet, and profit. So under this model, all three of these areas are equally important for long-term success. You can't just go all in on profit and forget about people or the planet. It just doesn't work in the long run. A great example is a company like Danone, which is working to become a certified B Corp. That's a type of company that's legally required to think about how its decisions affect its workers, customers, community, and the environment. That's the triple bottom line in action right there. Let's break that down a bit. The people bottom line is really the social side of things. It asks questions like, are our products safe for our customers? Are we providing good, fair working conditions? Now, of course, measuring something like positive community impact isn't as simple as counting dollars and cents, and that's one of the challenges here, but it's an absolutely vital piece of the overall performance puzzle. And then you've got the planet bottom line, the environmental part of the equation. And this is where operations managers are really on the front lines. I mean, they're the ones making decisions every single day that directly affect a company's ecological footprint. Things like the materials they choose, the energy they use, and the waste they create. So, we've looked at the big picture of how a company fits into society, but how does that connect back to its actual strategy? Let's zoom into that second level now and see how all those daily activities, the things happening in the factory or the warehouse, actually drive the company's financial health and its big strategic goals. Really great operations management does four key things at this strategic level. First, it controls costs. That's the obvious one. But it also helps increase revenue. I mean, think about it. Happy customers who get high-quality products tend to buy more stuff. It also reduces risk by being super reliable. And finally, it builds the company's capabilities, the skills, the processes that let it innovate and grow in the future. And if you want to see just how powerful this is, get this. The source material lays out this incredible example. Imagine a company with $1 million in revenue and $900,000 in costs. Now, if you can just bump revenue by 5% and cut costs by 5%, just tiny little tweaks, right? You don't just see a small profit bump. No way. You could see profits skyrocket by an insane 95%. That, right there, is the mind-blowing power of excellent operations. All right, now we're zooming all the way in. We are officially in the engine room, looking at the dials and levers that operations managers are obsessed with every single day. These are the 5 core performance objectives that really define and measure what operational excellence looks like. And here they are: quality, speed, dependability, flexibility, and cost. These 5 objectives, they apply to any operation you can possibly think of. A car factory, a hospital, your local supermarket, you name it. They are the absolute fundamentals of day-to-day performance. Let's kick things off with quality. So externally, this one's a no-brainer. High quality means happy customers and a great reputation. But internally, it's just as crucial. Doing things right the first time means you waste a lot less time and money fixing mistakes and doing rework. Remember when Ferrero shut down the world's biggest Nutella factory over a potential quality issue? That shows you just how high the stakes can be. Next up, we have speed. The faster your customer gets what they ordered, the happier they're going to be. Simple. But speed also has these huge internal benefits. The faster materials and products move through your system, the less inventory you have to keep on hand, and that saves a ton of money. Plus, it means you can wait longer before you have to make forecasts, which reduces the risk of getting them wrong. Then we've got dependability. This is all about one thing: keeping your promises. For customers, it means they get their product exactly when you said they would. Internally, dependability creates a stable, predictable workplace where there are fewer chaotic surprises. For a totally wild example of this, a Japanese train operator once issued a public apology because a train left the station 20 seconds early. Now that is extreme dependability. And now, flexibility, which is just the ability to change what you do. For customers, this often means more choice and customization. There's a company called My Muesli that offers something like 566 quadrillion possible muesli combinations. Internally, a flexible operation can react super quickly to disruptions and switch from one task to another without wasting a bunch of time. And that brings us to the last one: cost. Now, here's the crucial point to remember. You don't always have to choose between being good and being cheap. Internally, if you get better at quality, speed, dependability, and flexibility, your costs will naturally start to go down. Better quality, less rework. More speed, less inventory. More dependability, fewer costly disruptions. Just look at a place like Aldi. Their entire business model is built on this ruthless operational efficiency that just drives costs down. So if improving the first 4 objectives also makes things cheaper, does that mean you can just be perfect at everything all the time? Well, not exactly. And that brings us to our final and maybe most important concept: the performance trade-off. I absolutely love this quote from Harvard professor Wickham Skinner. It just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly captures this whole idea of operational trade-offs. You have to make choices. An operation just can't be the absolute fastest and the highest quality and the lowest cost all at the same time. You've got to decide what matters most to your strategy. We can actually visualize this idea with a tool called the efficient frontier. So just picture a graph comparing 2 competing goals, like, say, low cost versus high variety. The efficient frontier is a curve on that graph that shows the best possible performance you can get. Any company that's on that line is considered efficient, even if they've made totally different choices about what to prioritize. Let's look at a quick example to see how this works. As you can see here, Operation C has chosen to offer low variety, but it has really high cost efficiency. It's right on the frontier. Now look at Operation X. It has the same low variety as C, but its costs are higher. See? It's inefficient because another company is doing better on at least one measure without sacrificing the other. So at a bare minimum, your goal is to get your operation onto that frontier. But the ultimate goal, well, that's even bigger. It's not just about finding your sweet spot on the curve. It's about using innovation, new tech, and smarter processes to push the entire frontier outwards. That is how you break the old trade-offs. That's how you get to a place where you can achieve levels of performance, like high variety and high efficiency, that used to be totally impossible. So, to wrap this all up, measuring performance is never, ever just about a single number on a spreadsheet. It's a rich, multi-layered story that connects a company's big picture impact on society, its high-level strategy, and the thousands of small actions its people take every single day. So I'll leave you with this little thought experiment. The next time you walk into your favorite coffee shop, just look around and think like an operations manager. Are they focused on being super fast, super cheap? Is the quality of the coffee out of this world? They are making trade-offs every single moment to serve you. What choices do they make? And what does that tell you about how they measure performance? Thanks for joining us.